Today, we're digging into the mind of Dara Khosrowshahi. You probably know him as the CEO who pulled off one of the most incredible corporate turnarounds ever at Uber. But honestly, it's his stark warning about the future, about artificial intelligence that we really need to pay attention to. So let's try to understand the man behind this truly unsettling prediction. And he kicks things off with a real shocker. I mean, this isn't a prediction about some far-off industry. No, this is about the very people who make his company run. He's on record saying that in the future, the drivers who are the literal backbone of Uber will, quite simply, be out of a job. Now, this isn't just some throwaway line. This is a serious warning about a future he sees coming way, way faster than most of us are ready for. And it just opens up this massive question of what on earth happens next? To really get a handle on this, you have to understand the scale we're talking about. It's staggering. This isn't just a small department or a single factory floor. Right now, Uber's platform provides work for 9.5 million drivers and couriers all across the globe. To put that into perspective, that's more people than the entire population of Switzerland. And his warning goes so much farther than just drivers. Khosrowshahi is predicting that within just 1 decade, AI is going to have the power to replace the work that 70 to 80% of all humans do. Think about that. We're not just talking about self-driving cars anymore. He means a seismic shift affecting pretty much everything, from physical jobs to knowledge work. And his big fear? Society is just not ready for it. So you have to ask yourself, why would a CEO be so brutally honest about this kind of disruption? Well, to get that, you have to understand the man himself. You see, his worldview wasn't shaped in some cushy Silicon Valley boardroom. It was forged in the fire and chaos of a revolution. Just try to imagine this for a second. One day, your family is running a huge industrial empire. Literally the next, you're fleeing for your lives as your entire country is torn apart. You land in America as a 9-year-old kid, having lost absolutely everything. That wasn't a movie plot. That was Dara's actual childhood. And look, this wasn't some peaceful move. It was a deeply traumatic escape. He talks about seeing Revolutionary Guards in his backyard, about bullets literally flying through their living room window. They knew with a terrifying certainty that they were not safe there. An experience like that, it changes you, right down to your core. He says that feeling of having the rug pulled out from under you, it never, ever leaves. And that feeling is the source of this absolutely relentless drive. A drive to build, to never assume anything is secure, and to never, ever be satisfied. So this relentless drive, born from trauma, became the engine for his entire career. It's what's made him one of the most respected operators in the tech world, a guy known for taking on impossible challenges and thriving when everything is changing around him. You know, before Uber, he spent 12 years running Expedia. This was back when a lot of companies were just getting their heads around the internet. Dara, though, he was busy scaling a monster. He basically put that company on a 12-year rocket ship, growing sales from about $2 billion to almost $9 billion. He owned online travel. But honestly, what he did at Uber is even more insane. He walked into a company that was a total cultural disaster and was just hemorrhaging money. We're talking losing $3 billion a year. He somehow engineered this mind-boggling turnaround, turning those massive losses into over $8.5 billion a year in positive cash flow. Just incredible. Okay, so what is the philosophy that connects a traumatic childhood to that kind of insane business success? Well, it's a mindset he preaches inside his company, and it really all boils down to one simple idea. He genuinely believes that the most important skill anybody can develop is the skill of working hard. He talks about it like an elite athlete would. It's not about being born with some magical talent. It's about discipline. It's about structure. It's about a relentless determination that you have to learn and practice and perfect over time. And he's a pragmatist about it. He tailors this philosophy to the mission at hand. Look, at Expedia, a company literally selling vacations, it makes sense to talk about work-life balance. But at Uber, a company in a bare-knuckle brawl for global dominance, the message is a little different. It's way more direct and demanding. And he is completely, radically transparent about this. He tells people straight up, if you come to work at Uber, you are going to work your ass off. The demands will be incredibly high. It is not a place to just coast. And he thinks that kind of brutal honesty is actually a good thing. It attracts the right kind of people, the ones who are ready for a fight. Which brings us all the way back to his AI warning. Because now we can see it through his eyes. This is a man who has lived through massive disruption, who believes in nothing but relentless forward momentum, and who absolutely refuses to sugarcoat the truth, no matter how tough it is. So we have to ask that question again, but this time with the full weight of his perspective behind it, when self-driving tech and AI are everywhere. What actually happens to those 9.5 million people on his platform? Where do they go? What new work can they possibly find? And Khosrowshahi doesn't sit there and pretend he has some magic solution. He's adamant that we are totally unprepared for how fast this is all happening. In trying to hit the brakes on innovation, he thinks that's a fool's errand. The only real option, he argues, is to lean into it, to get in the middle of the change so we can at least have a hand in shaping it. But the how is a huge question mark. He openly admits that the core challenge, retraining millions of people on a societal scale, is a problem we haven't even begun to figure out. And that really leaves us with one final, and maybe the most important question. Khosrowshahi once gave this piece of advice. He said, before you go out and try to change the world, let the world change you first. So as we build these incredibly powerful AI tools, the question isn't just how are we going to change the world, but are we prepared to be changed by it?